Hey everyone, today I'm going to be ranking the Paradox Pokemon. So, before we get into it though, I need to talk about the Paradox Pokemon, because I know a couple of non-Pokemon fans are watching this and have no idea what they are. So, Paradox Pokemon are, newer or older versions of Pokemon already exist, so they're versions of them from the past or future. So, some of them are from the past and some of them are from the future, like I just said. So, for example, Volcarona has a past form and a future form. So, the thing is, though, I'm not ranking all the Paradox Pokemon in one video. I'm going to do the future forms first and then the past forms. And the reason is because all the future forms suck. They are some of the worst Pokemon we've ever had, ever. Even if they're good competitively, I don't care. They're some of the worst, laziest Pokemon I've ever seen in my life. And I don't understand how this happened. I do also need to say a couple of things. So, the reason I'm not doing all of them together and I'm doing the future forms first is because if I did them all together, the future forms would all be in D tier and the past forms would be above them all. So, I feel like that's not really fair. And then, also, all of the future forms have the word iron in their name, which, come on, Game Freak. I know they're all literally just robot versions of older Pokemon, but that is so lazy. And also, all of their shinies are the exact same. All the past forms have such unique names, unique designs, unique shinies. I don't know what happened here. All the future forms have iron in their name. They're all just robot versions of older Pokemon. They all have silver shinies. What the heck? Spoiler warning, but there's only two that I actually really like. I wouldn't... Okay, I like them, but there's another two I like as well, but not as much as these two. But you'll see. Spoilers. So yeah, let's get into it now that I've explained all that. So in D tier, we have Iron Jugulus. What does Jugulus even mean exactly? Also, why did you take away its dragon type? As you can see, it's Hydreigon, and Hydreigon is a dark dragon type, but they changed Iron Jugulus type to dark flying. And I'm like, why did you do that? Why not keep the dragon type and change the dark type? I don't know. I will say, though, I am glad that not all of them are steel types. A couple of them are steel types, of course, but not all of them are, which I really like. I appreciate that, at least. But yeah, Iron Jugulus is the worst of them all, because it's, I know I've said this already, but it's just a robot version of Hydreigon. What were you thinking? Anyway, moving on, we have Iron Bundle. Literally just, again, a robot version of Delibird. I do like that its tail instead of, because Delibird is based on Santa, so its tail is meant to be a sack, but this one's tail is a hose, which I do kind of like, and also its shoes look like skis, which is cool as well. I think this one's a water and ice type, which that typing makes a little bit of sense, to be fair. But yeah, it's just Delibird. I don't know. Anyway, C tier, we have Iron Hands. Iron Hand at least looks a little bit more unique from Hariyama, because its hands are flying, they're floating in the air. I think this is an electric fighting type. I don't know all their types, I'm sorry. I really do regret getting Pokemon Violet instead of Scarlet just for this. I really do. I think I mentioned that in my Professor's video. But yeah, Iron Hands is at least a little bit tiny more unique from Hariyama, but still, it is just Hariyama. I feel like if this was a past form, it would have looked so cool. It could have had dragon hands. I'm getting ahead of myself there, though. Anyway, I know someone that's not gonna like this one. Iron Moth. Yeah. Again, I ranked it above those two because it's at least a little tiny bit more unique than Volcarona, because its petals are floating instead of being attached to it like their wings. So that's a little bit cool. But like I said, Volcarona also has a past form, and the past form is a lot better. The past form is generally one of the most beautiful Pokemon I've ever seen. So yeah, Volcarona is one of the coolest Pokemon ever, so you did it dirty here. Also, it's a fire and poison type, and I do not get that at all. The fire type I understand, but the poison type? Where is that coming from? Hang on. So, yeah. Iron Boulder. So I actually really think... I think these two look better, but I'm just ranking this one a little bit higher because it's a legendary based on Terrakion. And you know what? I'm just going to skip ahead and go to do all of the Swords of Justice because they did not give the Swords of Justice here. I feel... Because in the games, what's it called? Iron Crown, its horns come up like holograms, so that's a little bit more unique, but they're still just robot versions of the Swords of Justice, and I don't like it. It's so lazy. I know I keep repeating myself, but that's how lazy it is. I'm actually, it depresses me. It really depresses me how bad they are. I'm not even kidding. You have to understand, if I was including the past forms, this would be, D tier up here, and then the rest would be the lower numbers. That's how, bad they are. So yeah, And plus, all their shinies are just silver again, you know? Okay, Iron Treads, though. Like, at least I can say that it's, you know... Because Donphan's based on a tire, obviously. So, like, they did that quite well. I think that was a good idea. So this one does work. And it's also the first one we saw as well, technically. I'll get there. So, I do like this one a little bit. And at least it's a different color from Donphan. Because Donphan's, like, mostly grey, but this one's red. So, I like that. That's a little bit more unique. But yeah. But Donphan also has a past form, and you'll have to wait for the next video to see that, but it's a lot more better than this one. So yeah, Iron Treads I do like, but not that much. Anyway, now we're getting to the ones that I actually do kinda like. There's only one in A tier. It's Iron Thorns. I think it's a grass type, I'm not sure. So Iron Thorns is based on Tyranitar, but the thing is, actually, in Generation 5, we actually already got a robot Tyranitar, and it looks so much cooler than this one. I feel like that's the only reason they did this, so that it would, like, make sense why there's a robot Tyranitar in Gen 5. But, again, that one was so much better than this one. And, actually, I will say, though, this is one of the few that makes the silver shiny work, in my opinion. I think this looks awesome in its silver color. The rest don't. The rest actually look terrible as silver, but Iron Thorns looks awesome as silver. But, yeah, Tyranitar is one of the most iconic Pokemon because it's based on Godzilla. But then we also got Duraludon that's based on Mechagodzilla. So then what does that make this? Like, Game Freak, do you want Duraludon to be Mechagodzilla or do you want Tyranitar to be Mechagodzilla? Like, seriously. Anyway, S tier now. We have Iron Valiant. Okay. Now, this isn't the end of the video, in case some Pokemon fans are wondering, because I know you're probably thinking that, but Iron Valiant is the only future form that actually did it right, in my opinion. Because, as you can see, it's based on Gallade and Gardevoir. So, like, they've combined the two Pokemon together. And I actually drew a concept for a Gallade and Gardevoir fusion years ago, and it basically looks like this as well. So, I basically predicted this Pokemon. And, yeah, it's also a fairy and fighting type, which I've been wanting for ages, and it does it so well. Especially since Gardevoir is a fairy type and Gallade's a fighting type. But yeah, I like, because you can see that it has Gardevoir's hair, but then it has Gallade's helmet, and then Gardevoir's skirt, but Gallade's waist. It's so cool. Also, it has, like, things from the Megas as well, like Mega Gallade and Mega Gardevoir, and it can actually take its swords off its elbows and make one big sword, so that's really cool. So yeah, in my opinion, this is the only future form that actually did future forms justice, you know? But, I don't know if you people will count this, but I do. Miraidon. Miraidon is my favorite future form because out of them all, it's the one we kind of got to bond with the most. Like, that's the whole point of legendaries in this game, because they're actually, the past, because, okay, so Cyclizar, I'll try and put pictures of Cyclizar on the screen right now, but that is a Pokemon in Generation 9, and Miraidon is its future form, and then you'll see it next time, Koraidon is its past form, so they're meant to be like the mascots for the past and future forms. So yeah, I think that's really cool. But I think its, like, code name is Iron Snake, which, you know, again, it's a lazy name, but it works. Also, it looks like the non-binary flag, which I love, so yeah. And just like Iron Valiant, it's the only one where they made it look like the original Pokemon, but it still looks unique enough in its own way. And it's also the only one that's not just a robot. It's robotic, but you can still tell that it's, like, still an organic being, which is what they all should have done instead of just being robots. But yeah. So yeah, that's my ranking. Also, I do need to say its shiny isn't that good. Again, it's just silver. But yeah, that's my ranking of the future forms. Like, you can really hear that I just did not care for this video at all because I really do not like the future forms. I'm excited to do the past forms though. That one was really difficult because they're all so cool. There's probably a couple I don't like, but I don't quite remember them all right at the top of my head, but we'll get there when we get there next time. Let me know what your favorite future form is in the comments down below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time for the actual good ranking. Bye!